You hungry? Well, I'm hungry. You like baseball? Well, I love that shit. Want a slice of pizza? Go to New York. You want hot weather? Come to LA. You want to break bread? Call Nick Turturro. Ready, motherfucker? Are you ready? Well, I'm fucking ready. Get ready! Chick-fil-A.
Lemonade.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. Think of, leave it to Kanye. Talk about Chick-fil-A.
You like the new album?
I haven't heard it. All I heard was Chick-fil-A.
Oh, you didn't hear the album?
No, you'll have to play it in the car or something.
Oh, it's interesting. The Sunday service is sick though.
Sunday service?
You have to go.
Yeah, but if I go, I got to be close. I want to like be in the choir. I like to be dancing right with the choir or singing with them.
You have to learn all the tracks.
I don't know all the tracks. I did sing in the choir when I was young.
Did you?
Yeah, I sang in the choir with my mother.
How long did that last?
It lasted for a few years. I had this choir director who liked me a lot. Liked me too much. But that's another story. But he taught me things, you know, music.
What do you mean he liked you a lot?
He liked me. What can I tell you? You know, I think he became a priest.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'd rather not. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Anyways.
Oh, my God. Well, anyway, I'm back from New York. Got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Just
reflect on my 3 weeks.
Just did an episode with John.
I did an episode with my brother John. It's very interesting. Talk about that. Frankie Edgar, which was a lot of fun. Went to 3 great Yankee games. Unfortunately, only won one.
But
went
2 with Spike Lee.
2 with you, 2 with Spike, and 1 without you guys. And those were great. It was just great. I had twice sitting on the Yankee dugout. Great experience. Spike called me. I was on a set of SVU one day, and he was like, "You in town?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he texted me like ASAP, like twice. Spike, call me. So I call him. He's like, "Want to go to the game tonight with me?" I was like, "Yeah." I go, but I finished. It was like a 4 o'clock game. He was like, "Well, don't matter, man. Leave." I go, "I can't leave. I'll get fired." I'm like, "You're a filmmaker." He goes, all right. So, he left me the tickets, and then I walked in right when the Yankees were, like, coming back. You know who jinxed me? Some kid. I came off the subway, and this freaking kid's like, "It's 1-0, or he was staring at me. He was like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "Why'd you tell me that?" I didn't even walk in the building. The kid's telling me that they're losing. I said, that's a bad sign.
You know why they're able to tell you this? Because of social media. Because everybody wants the information before they get there, so they know what they're walking into.
Yeah.
It's like even now with parties. It's like, oh, I don't want to go to the party unless I know who's going to be there. What's this? What's that? Everyone wants information. Nobody can just walk into something
I know, but
blind.
I told the kid, I said, let me find out the bad news. Don't announce it that I was dying. And if I'm dying, let me find out. Let me get the news that I'm dying before it becomes, public knowledge. Could I at least not know the score till I walk in? Right away, they got to tell you. They're losing. Thank you. You ruined my whole mojo. I walked in, the bases were loaded. It was a 4 o'clock game. Kind of an interesting look. Fall day in New York. What's better than that? Teamster was driving me. He couldn't take me all the way up to the Bronx. Dropped me off on 125th Street. He goes, the subway's like 3 stops. Don't worry. So I loved it. Get on the subway, a couple of stops. You get off, boom, Yankee Stadium. I get the tickets. I go down to the Yankee dugout, and there's Spike, man. Spike's all pumped. He's grabbing me and rubbing me on the shoulders. I'm already screaming. I just walked in. I'm already screaming. He's like, all right, pace yourself, man. Pace yourself. Because it's a long game. You got to... But the Yankees had so many chances. So many. It's fun watching a game with Spike because he's like, why they doing that, Nick? Why they doing this? I'm like, Spike, I'm not the manager, man. I can only advise you. I can only tell you what I think. And Spike is funny, man.
Is Spike like the king of New York? Is that fair to say?
He's like the Godfather, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, Spike's the man.
You can't fuck with Spike.
No, you don't mess with Michael Imperioli was sitting behind us a few rows, and Spike was like, yeah, And Perioli's over there. I was like, hey, Mike. I'm sitting with, I was holding court. I was sitting there. And then the next day, he said he's not going. So I got tickets. You came. And that game was close. Then they got blown out towards the...
You're missing the important part. You did the Fox panel.
But the second game was a highlight for me. Because I was doing all these Fox promos in the summer. I did with the Dodgers and the Yankees. And then, they follow my Twitter. So they asked me, would you like to come on the Fox pregame with A-Rod, Big Papi, the Big Hurt, and Kevin Burkhardt. So I was like, yeah, I'd love to, So I was like, wow, this is exciting. We got there early. It was cold that night. We were in the outfield, and they were hitting, batting practice, a lot of home runs. We're sitting out there in the center field. Walked over there like 7 o'clock, man. It was thousands of people. We were waiting to go on. I was like, wow, I hope this goes good, But I brought it. I brought it really hard, and I held my own. I held my own with A-Rod, Big Papi. Big Papi is funny as hell, man. He's so funny. He's like there with a Fendi sweater, and A-Rod's hugging me. I was getting all kinds of love. Big Hurt was like, well, I don't get no love, Nick. You said you were excited. I said, of course I love you, Big Hurt. Of course I love you. The Yankee fans, A-Rod was... It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a great segment. If you haven't seen it, you gotta go and watch this segment.
It's on Twitter. You can find it.
It's on Twitter. You can find it. It's a classic segment. And I just let those guys know I might be a little wild, I might be a little crazy, but I'm knowledgeable. I can hold my own with baseball with the best of them. People saw that. They were like, wow, that was outstanding. You handled it really well. I was like, well, what did you think? I was gonna fold under pressure? I don't fold under pressure. I showed those people, I showed the world, I said, they should bring me in more often. Not just for the Yankees. I just went to the freaking dentist, and part of my mouth is still frozen. I hate that shit.
To me, that interview was like, A-Rod was interviewing you, and Big Hurt was like third wheel in the interview, and Big Papi was just there to talk shit to you.
Yeah. Big Papi was there to talk shit to me. You're right. A-Rod was interviewing me.
Big Hurt was the third wheel.
What did you think watching it? Were you enjoying it?
Oh, it was funny. I mean, I couldn't hear, but then I rewatched and it was really funny. There was a really great moment with A-Rod. Oh, man. His timing is just too funny.
Tell him the moment. It's very funny.
Well, we met him a couple times in like the last year or so, whatever. And he goes, Nick, how you feeling? And I goes, I'm doing good. I got my good luck charm. I brought my son out here. I flew him out. He's here. And A-Rod just goes, hi, son.
Hi, son.
And he was Nick.
Yeah.
It was awkward as hell.
But he said it like in a very, not real, hello, son. And he went right back to
we love Alex, though.
Well, Nick, I love your passion. But I love him.
Yeah.
Because, Big Papi was like, tell me the truth, Nick. Have you ever booed this guy? And I was like, yeah, I did boo him a lot, But he won me over. And the minute I said he won me over, Alex, he loved that.
He grabbed him.
Gave me a big hug. He's a sweet guy.
Alex is he's like the guest you want on the show, right?
Yeah, I think I'd love to have A-Rod come on and break bread with him and really, dive into him. It's all about A-Rod and before and now. It's kind of fascinating where, he's kind of creating this other persona, I mean, he had the persona of Alex Rodriguez, then he became A-Rod, then he had all these, troubles in his life, and now he's kind of rebounded, and he's become pretty polished, and he's become a force on television. So I'm like, you're like a TV star now, A-Rod. Do you realize that? He's very prepared. You can see he's got all his notes, all that shit, and these guys have notes. It's funny, I went in there, I got no notes.
A-Rod's on his game.
He's on his game, but I got it right here. Right in here. I don't need any notes, but I give him credit. I give him credit. I don't know what Papi has notes. Papi is just he's like a guy who could be on, Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's so natural.
He's Jello.
Yeah, he's so natural, man. He's funny as hell. He's got great timing. I was like, I told him I ripped out grass in the 1970s. He goes, yo, Nick, man, you smoked that grass? Did you smoke it? Oh, man.
You think A-Rod should be in the Hall of Fame, yeah?
He's a Hall of Famer. I mean...
I think he should.
I think he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, I think 3,000 hits. I mean, they put all the other suspected, juice guys in there. So I don't know.
Pudge Rodriguez is in the Hall of Fame, and he's a juice
Come on, these guys did it. I mean, I don't know. I can't stand the whole debate. The thing was... to you, was he a Hall of Famer? Unless you're not going to allow anybody that, played in the steroid era. So I mean, I don't think you can be a complete hypocrite. And, you know,
I don't see how you can deny 3,000 hits. Because 3,000 hits means that you were like an elite hitter.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, you hit 500 home runs, but you had 1,800 hits. Like,
exactly.
You were a legit hitter. Singles, doubles, triples, home runs.
Yeah, and his numbers are inflated, but A-Rod would have been, Alex Rodriguez or whatever, you know, he would have had 500 career home runs.
One of the greatest
Easy.
talents of all time.
He's a great, great talent. I mean, what was he? Like, drafted out of high school, I think #1 draft choice in the nation. I mean, that guy's a talented dude. You know what I mean? I mean,
today a kid of his skills probably gets in for a first-round draft pick.
I mean, you know,
like
Carlos Correa, they say, is like, you know, another you know, he's not even as good as A-Rod. He's good, but he's not A-Rod.
Correa showed you love after he
did show me
got
love.
defeated.
You know, he did show me love. He showed me a lot of love. He said, what did he say? He said, you're a real one.
He said, thank you, Nick, you're a real one.
Yeah, real one. Very classy.
Shout out Carlos Correa.
He showed me love. Bregman has showed me a little love. It's
Bregman's
nice.
our boy. Yeah.
I took a lot of crap from all these some of these stupid people out there that, you know, like to bother me because I collect jerseys. And one time I put on an Astro jersey watching the Rockets because I hated the Warriors. I was busting balls, and these people are like digging up these pictures. I found a picture with Nick with an Astro jersey. I'm like, you moron. You know what I mean? I would never, you know, I'm not a bandwagon fan. I would never do that shit. I don't know, what are they called? Trolls? These people that try to get under your skin? And they upset me because I'm like, you know what, man? You know how I feel about the Yankees. It's no question. It doesn't matter. That's my team. Win or lose, that's my team. I'm never rooting for anybody. But do I collect jerseys? Yeah, I got Oakland A's jerseys. I got these jerseys.
But all these trolls are probably the same people
kissing
your ass at the games. They're probably the same
people, and they always like, so I got the proof. He's wearing an Astro shirt. I'm like, oh, cut the shit. Will you cut it? You know, I mean, it's like so stupid.
You should say what Connor says. Ask my bollocks.
Yeah, I know. Kiss my bullocks.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I should say that. You know, I just sometimes I respond, and then he goes, "Don't respond. Don't respond to them." You know.
So if you're gonna respond, either respond with some heat or just don't respond at all.
And then we won the 5th game, man. That was great, and he came down. And he wasn't sitting with us. We were by the dugout, but he was in the stadium.
Spike told some dude with a Trump hat to take that shit off. That was really funny.
Yeah, that was funny. He's like, yo, Nick, he's got to get the hat off. It's a MAGA hat. And I was like, what do you want from me? He's got to take it off. And then the guy's looking at me like, and I go, take it off, take it off. Spike is a character. You know, he's like, Nick, he's got to take it off. And I was like,
he was dead serious, too.
I'm watching the Yankee. I don't care about the MAGA hat right now. I'm watching the game, Spike. But
when you looked away, Spike pointed at him, too. He said, take that shit off. And the guy was, like, really upset about it.
Yeah, his feelings were hurt.
You believe he went to the fight? Trump, he went to the UFC fight.
I heard he got booed.
Yeah, he walked in, and the whole arena booed him. And
Was he booed?
Yeah, he was.
Really bad.
And then even Rappaport filmed him. It was like... filming him, Dick Stain Donald, shit like that.
Yeah, Rappaport goes crazy.
I was dying. He was at the fight. What did you think of the Masvidal fight? Did you like it?
I liked it. I mean, I was a little disappointed because I thought Nate was going to be, you know, more of a... I was kind of afraid, even though I don't know Masvidal that well, and I know he's a badass, but he's a bigger badass than I thought. And I just wish Nate would have not got, you know, beat up in the first round.
He almost got knocked down the first round.
Yeah, he almost got knocked out. He was all cut up. And maybe he's just a bad matchup. Because matchups are like that. But it seems like this guy is coming into his own. I mean, you guys are the UFC, you know, experts, you and Dan. But and Masvidal, man, he was a beast. And he was winning the fight. Unless Nate would have rallied, but he was cut up pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, the saying was like, oh, well... you didn't get to the 4th and 5th, and that's where Nate does his work. But it's like he was getting pieced, and there were 2 10-8 rounds. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, he landed a few, but nothing that hurt Masvidal. And
Masvidal has some big fights ahead of him right now. He has the potential Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington fight. He has a potential Conor McGregor fight. He has some good fight. He has some good fights ahead of him, and him and Colby Covington actually have real beef. Which if Colby beats Kamaru, then they should fight.
Well, I want to see the winner of that then fight Masvidal. I have a funny feeling Masvidal is he's gonna take out all these guys. He just seems like he's ready. He seems like he's on his game, and he's got Duran now in his corner, and man, he can box.
He's got The Rock in his corner too.
He got The Rock. I left on Saturday And I was thinking, you know, to hang around, maybe go to that fight. But I'd been away 3 weeks, so I was like, it's time to come home, put the fight on. I was watching that, and then I was watching the crooked Canelo fight. So, you know, and anybody that doesn't think that was crooked is blind.
Why was it crooked? I didn't watch the fight.
It was like a sparring session. It was like a sparring session. I've been watching, what's his name, Kovalev? Sergey, for years. And the guy is a violent puncher, throws violent punches. I mean, he goes in there to, you know, for the kill. And he's tapping him for 10 rounds, and he's winning the fight like 8-2 or whatever it was, you know. And I'm watching it with, you know, Gabriel, and even he's giggling and laughing and going, this shit is this is a setup, man. This is a setup if I have ever seen one. This is so crooked. And then he's tapping him the whole fight. And these guys, I'm listening to it in Spanish, and one guy, he lands one punch, they go wild. And I was like, what? What are they watching? The guy's not doing nothing the whole fight. So they probably would have given him the decision anyway. But Kovalev got the $12 million. He's touching gloves. He's happy. He's got the payday.
Were the commentators on the take too?
Probably all on the take. Don't get me started. Listen, believe me, it's a setup. You know what I mean? It's pretty bad.
Bro, I didn't even watch the fight, but this is all I
gotta say. And this is why I'm starting to watch the UFC, because at least it's on the level. Boxing, which I really, really love, you know, it always...
There's just a lot of bullshit in
boxing. It's too much BS. I mean, Canelo can fight. I'm not saying he can't fight. He's a great fighter.
But let's keep it a buck.
Keep it real.
Canelo didn't drop Danny Jacobs at 160 pounds, number one. Number two, Sergey Kovalev arguably beat Andre Ward the first time they fought and almost knocked him out.
And Andre Ward
is, to me, is better than Canelo.
He is better than Ward. And I'd like to see Canelo Ward come out for a payday. Why not? Come out, get paid, Andre, and kick his ass. Kick that ginger's ass. I'm whatever. I have nothing against him. I just like to see, you know, somebody like.
I mean, bro, how are you gonna tell me you knocked out Kovalev and he got his ass whooped by Floyd Mayweather? 5'7" Floyd Mayweather.
And then he went like this. He went. Hey, he put on an act. I mean, I know good acting. That was not an act. Yeah, he let himself get hit. What are you talking about, Turturro? What are you watching? What am I talking about? Look between the lines. Look between. You got to always, you know, these people, I'm not buying it. I didn't buy it. That's why I said, get rid of that thing. I don't want to watch that thing no more. I'm tired of that thing.
I'll cancel it after this weekend. There's a fight I want to watch on DAZN.
All right, whatever. Unless they hire me for baseball. Hire me for baseball and then, you know.
Have you heard about this fight this weekend? Do you know this Logan Paul KSI fight?
Oh, Logan Paul. What
do you understand? Like
I don't know anything about it.
Oh. So
now I'm gonna watch a celebrity match.
So listen how crazy this is.
Put me in there.
So who do you want to fight?
I'll fight somebody.
What about you and Rat? No, that's his boy.
That's my face too big. I gotta fight somebody my size. Somebody I don't like. I have to think about that.
So listen to this. Listen to this story with this fight, right? So this guy KSI is like a YouTube guy, and Logan Paul's a YouTube guy too. And basically, they had some bullshit beef last year, and they did an amateur boxing match in the UK, and they sold out a whole arena and did 1.2 million on pay-per-view. So Eddie Hearn this year goes, let's do the second fight on DAZN, and we'll make it a pro fight with no headgear. And they sold out Staples Center. And there's like world champions, or like Devin Haney's on the undercard. Billy Joe Saunders is on the undercard.
Wow.
Paulie was trying to even get on that card too against Artem. So it was like, it's a pretty big card.
Paulie was trying to get on the card?
Well, Artem had said he wanted to fight Paulie again. And then Paulie was like, Eddie, call me, I'm in.
Right.
Why, I don't know. But he wanted to fight on this undercard too, because it's a big card.
And that's on Saturday?
It's at Staples Center. 2 YouTube stars for their second fight, selling out 2 arenas.
Unbelievable. YouTube stars. Now, that's what I got to watch.
Devin Haney's the real
Well, we've seen Devin Haney fight.
He's
my age, too. Devin Haney's big fight is with Ryan Garcia, which is like in about a year
I even
or so.
brought the thing up to Kriegel the other day. What are you talking about?
With Canelo?
Yeah, he's like, he was done. He was ready. I was like, all right, Mark. I don't want to get into it.
He's ESPN. Why is he?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's not his fight. What are you worried about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know, man.
It's not a big deal.
So speaking of free agency, you see what Stanton said on TMZ?
What did he say?
He said, they said, who do you want, Cole or Strasburg? He goes, well, let's get them both.
Cole and Strasburg?
He goes, why not both? Because we'll probably get one of them.
I hope we get one.
Who do you want, Strasburg or Cole, if you had a choice?
You know, I was really impressed with Strasburg. Just the way he pitched. He was such a bulldog. He was such a beast out there. I mean, the guy might be younger. He might last longer. But there was something about him after that. He wouldn't talk because he had that guy's hat, the agent. What's his agent's name?
Boris?
Boris. He had a Boris. He's like, I'm no longer an employee of the Astros.
Because he didn't pitch in Game 7?
Because he didn't use him, the guy. I never understood why they didn't use him in Game 7.
That's probably why.
I never understood. I mean, to this day, it's like I'm saving him if we have a lead. Dude, what are you talking about? It's the 7th game. These managers kill me. It's like, what do you got all winter. Why wouldn't you bring him in the game? Not that I had a funny feeling that they were going to pull it out, the Nationals. They just had the mojo. You could feel it sometimes, even though it's so weird that not one home team won a game. They were like in their own ballparks. That was unbelievable. They were so comfortable, and you just got that sense that they were going to get it done. But Strasburg was great.
I think when Howie Kendrick took out the Dodgers, you kind of had to know something was up.
Oh yeah, and you got to watch those wild card teams. It's not always the best team. It's the team that gets on a run. They get on that. They were down 2-1 against the Dodgers. They took the Dodgers out. They swept the Cardinals. They won the 2 first. And then they lost 3, and they thought, well, maybe the Astros are going to show their class. But when they won that 6th game, I said, I got a funny feeling if they stay close. And they did. It was 2-0. And then they did their thing. Anthony Rendon was clutch. The kid Soto was so clutch. I mean, I was happy for them, man. It was their time.
Bryce Harper, bad luck, huh?
Listen, the Astros, they got a world championship already. So it's not so easy to be a dynasty, even though they've beaten us. So they got the upper hand. But we didn't hit. We didn't hit with men on base. We had a billion chances. And I feel like the team that the Yankees put out there in the end, and the real Yankee fans know, the team that we won most of the season with wasn't the team on the field. The Mike Ford, Tachman, all these guys that weren't. And then they forced Stanton in there, and then Eddie the Parrot went south on us. So it was like a different team. I don't know if you felt that way, but it was not the team we saw in L.A.
I think L.A. was their peak. It couldn't get much better than that.
Yeah, they peaked in L.A., and it was like, we got a championship team here. And then they just didn't execute. It was so disappointing that they didn't beat these stupid Astros.
Now, I heard something, like, I wasn't sure if it was Cashman or someone else, but they said they didn't blame their starting pitching for the reason they didn't win the series, which I agree with. But having said that, I do think they should sell out for one of these guys, because I think consistency throughout the whole year is much needed.
Oh, yeah.
Because our starting pitching was kind of iffy last year.
It was very iffy.
And James Paxton wasn't good till half of the season. And then CeCe was just, he's old. It's not his fault.
Old now.
We didn't have Severino the whole year. Tanaka's only good in the playoffs.
Right. No, they got to sell out for one of the guys. They got to get a stud. Even though Paxton, he showed me something. The kid, and hopefully.
Big Maple.
Big Maple was good, man. Severino, he tried. He helped us as much as he could. The guy missed the whole year.
And he was good when he played.
He was still good. I mean, he's still, he's like, he could be that guy, but he isn't that guy yet. He could be that guy. Tanaka was brilliant in one game, and then the other game he wasn't.
Yeah.
So, they got to get a Strasburg or get this kid Cole, one or the other. And probably not going to get both, but they can't let the Yankee fans not show up and get one of these guys.
Yeah.
Come on, enough is enough. You got to have good starting
Especially
pitching.
with a team that can win.
You got it. I mean, look, they had Strasburg who came into Scherzer, and they had the other kid Corbin who's good, but he's not on their level. But they had studs. You can't just say, well, we're going to bullpen it. We're going to bullpen it. It doesn't work. It doesn't. Then you got guys like Ottavino that imploded. This one implodes. Every night you to the bullpen, and then they get exposed in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
They get tired. They get exposed.
Are you still mad at Chapman, or you?
I'm not mad at him. I mean, I was a little pissed that he threw that meatball, because LeMay, we were in the hotel watching Game 6. We were wild. Shirt came off, everything. Because when I get crazy, the shirt comes off. That's the whole thing.
You did it at Yankee Stadium, which was kind of awesome.
I told Spike, I said, it might come off. It may come off. He was like, really? I was like, yeah. I got to get in better shape for next year. This way, people won't make.
Maybe if you get in shape, they may win.
Get rid of my gut. Nah. There's nothing funny about being too in shape. You know, they always say it's better to be a little overweight.
It's this line from Funny People. He
That's
heard
right.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill said it.
He goes, "There's nothing funny about a physically fit man."
That's true.
He goes, "Who wants to see Neil Armstrong do comedy?"
That's right.
What's it called? It's sad to say though, but if we do get one of these pitchers, even if we don't, we're probably saying goodbye to Didi.
I'm still torn about Didi. I still think they maybe should think about, you know.
Well, they didn't take his qualifying offer.
Well, because they probably feel like he's not worth $17 million. That's what he would have got. He would have got a raise. And the thing is, you know, would he take 12, 13 million a year for 3 years or something?
But then
he loves New York.
But then you lose a Voit, you lose a Ford.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? He's still. I think if he's healthy, Didi can go back to being Didi. I'm still like, you know, I don't know if they should just let him walk. He did a lot of good things for the Yankees. He disappointed me. He swung at a lot of stupid pitches in the, you know, against Houston. But I kind of love Didi. You know what I mean? Him and Glaber and then LeMahieu. I mean, yeah, you could put Glaber at short, but I don't think Glaber's
They're probably
he's a real shortstop.
They're probably trying to build Glaber's stock up because you have more. You have more worth at shortstop.
I know, but I still like lefties, and we don't have that many lefties on this team. And you know, they're probably going to bring back Gardner because you know he's a true Yankee.
Yeah, he's already in talks.
But he's a fourth outfielder, and now the other guy's going to be out a lot again. Hicks, who can't stay on the field. You know, so you're probably going to have to get another outfielder too.
Yeah, and Stanton is.
Stanton, who knows what Stanton? You know, you just hope he can be a DH. If this guy, you know, he may wind up being...
Eddie the Parrot's gone.
Eddie the Parrot, yeah, he had to go. You know, let's get Judge healthy, get Stanton. I mean, but I don't know. I'm torn about Didi. I'm not sure that they should just let Didi walk, especially if it's to like a competitive team. You know, it just feels like a Yankee. You know, they love him in New York. So
maybe he'll take less money this year. Who knows?
He might. You never know. I have a funny feeling that, you know, unless someone offers him, you know, he's going to go where the money is. And you can't blame the guy, you know. But Didi's a good guy. I mean, and we'll see. Listen, I would extend LeMahieu. That's who I would extend. They got him for 2 years.
Well, that's wrong if they don't. And it's wrong he wasn't.
They just extended Chapman, so just extend this. This guy is...
And it's wrong that he's not an MVP
He should be the MVP.
Candidate.
Yeah, or a candidate. He's not a candidate?
Nope.
That's ridiculous.
It's Bregman, Trout, and Marcus Semien.
Listen, Mike Trout is a great player, but the Angels didn't do anything.
If you're gonna
without LeMahieu last year, the Yankees, they're not in the playoffs. They're not. They didn't win 100 games without him. With Mike Trout, you could still lose 100 games. So how is it? And you know, Bregman had a great year. Bregman's a great player.
But if you're gonna give it to any of them, give it to Bregman. He's not won it.
No. Listen, Bregman's terrific. But so is LeMahieu. LeMahieu is, man, when you watch a guy on a daily basis, I mean, when you see him up close, too, you go, man, this dude could play. This dude is, that at bat that he did to tie the game against that closer was tremendous. We went insane in the room, insane. That's why, you know, I thought, man, after they tied it, I thought maybe they'll win this game or win the series, but it just wasn't meant to be. But LeMahieu was tremendous. Man, he was the steal. He was the steal of the offseason. So you came to New York. You had a good time.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, I got a question for you about New York. What do you think about the Mets hiring Beltran to be the new manager?
It's interesting because Beltran has been getting a lot of hype as an executive. The Astros were giving him a lot of credit a couple of years ago for helping them sort of, you know, develop some of these guys, and also the Yankees were raving about him. So people like him. So, I mean, you know, it's a Hispanic guy.
Are the Mets fans on board with it?
You know, I don't know what the Met fans are on board. I don't know what's inside the Met fans' mind. Are they?
I am.
You are?
Me and all my Mets fans.
You like it?
We like it.
I like it better than Girardi.
I like it, but it's weird. I kind of like this thing where we were all big Mickey, or he was the old man, Mickey Callaway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all big Mickey Callaway guys because we thought, like, oh, the players play really hard for him. I mean, he makes a lot of mistakes as a manager. But
Right.
just all the players, like, want to be out there.
Right.
This new guy, I mean, they had a good run this year, but...
They didn't do too bad. I mean,
it was
listen.
questionable. They were supposed to do better than they've done.
Well, they had a closer that imploded,
Yeah.
and maybe you should have stopped going to him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
probably.
That guy was a disaster, the guy they got from the Mariners. What was his name? Diaz?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, when you got a closer that bad, you know how many games? And they still won 85, 86 games? With a good closer, they win over 90 games.
Well, they have starting pitching. They have on
Yeah. I mean, they still got good starting. And then, they discovered a couple of kids this year that were really good, that paid them dividends. So, I mean, the Mets are kind of up and coming. I mean, they didn't have a bad year. They're not that far away. The Mets could get over the hump and be right back. Look at the Nationals. They let Bryce Harper walk.
Nationals were ready to give us Max Scherzer in this year. They were ready to trade him.
Well, they're talking about it.
Well, they were ready to do it.
But I'll take Strasburg. I would take him.
Oh, yeah.
I would take him. And, I mean,
You'd kill him.
yeah. I mean, you give him 4 years. Give him 4 years, $30 million a year, right? That could get it done. Maybe a little more. But, I mean, you give him less. You give him more money but less years. The guy could pitch, man. He's really like...
My only thing is that he hasn't pitched in the American League yet.
That's true.
And is their stadium, the Nationals, considered a bandbox or no?
It's
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's. I don't think it has much reputation.
So see, to me, I'd go with Cole because he's already pitched the American League and he's been successful,
That's a
and
good
he's
point.
pitched in a
That's a good point.
bandbox.
A lot of National League pitchers, when they come over, they implode. Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of small bandboxes. And the fact that he's saying, like, Cole could pitch in that...
If you could pitch in Houston, you can pitch in New York.
Yeah, because Houston is...
It's like
That's a bandbox,
If you hit
too.
a fly ball to right field,
It's almost a home run.
Plus, coming from the NL, you get a pitcher once every 9 at bats. You get like a fake at bat almost.
Right.
So it's like all of a sudden that's gone.
Yeah. No, I think, probably the smart money would be to go with Cole. He's younger.
But you like Strasburg.
But I do like Strasburg. I just like...
Go with your gut.
Yeah, I just like the way he...
just take them both, man. Fuck. They have the money. What's the problem?
I know. Well, they're gonna have to do something. They can't try to piece it together and try to chintz and go.
Look, bro, you're a rich
Zach
organi-
Wheeler on the Mets. I mean, he's not bad, but I'm not gonna throw big money at Zach Wheeler. I mean, he's got a good arm.
Look, bro, you're a rich organization. Just sell out if you want to win.
Yeah, you got to sell out. So
I don't see the point in not doing that.
now we're gonna go see The Irishman.
You already saw it.
I saw it.
What'd you think?
Fantastic.
Really?
Yeah,
He
really
said
great. Really great.
Pacino is the shit.
Pacino's off the wall.
We're going at the Bruin tonight.
Wow, it's
7:30.
it's slow moving, but you don't mind it because you can't take your eyes off the performance, and you just kind of like, it's almost like Godfather-esque. It feels like that kind of epic movie. But Al Pacino has got some scenes in the movie that just blow your mind. He's just fantastic. He has a couple of scenes with this guy, Stephen Graham, who was on Boardwalk. He's a British guy. And the dude could act, this guy. He goes toe-to-toe with Pacino. Toe-to-toe, And then Pesci has one scene with Al towards the end that's fantastic. And De Niro has a lot of great stuff with Al, too. But De Niro, he's good in the movie. He's more solid. But Al is really, he's got fire shooting out of his ass. He's just on his game, man. He's so on his game. And it's a great story. I mean, it's a great movie. You have to see it on the big screen. Don't wait
for
till it comes to
Netflix.
Netflix. That's not the way to go. You got to see The Irishman. I'm curious to see how I like it the second time. I mean, because the second time you watch something, you can start to see even more things. The first time, you don't know what you're watching.
Have you been craving to see it again?
I have, because it stayed with me. I woke up thinking about it. And the great thing about the Pacino character, he's not a mob guy. Jimmy Hoffa, you kind of hear his name, and he's affiliated with the mob guys, but he's not a real mob guy. And he got in bed with those guys, and then they couldn't control him. And when they couldn't control him, I don't want to give the movie away, but the De Niro character was caught in between because he worked for the mob guys, and then he went to work for Jimmy Hoffa, and he really fell in love with Jimmy. He loved him. And it's funny watching De Niro try to tell Pacino, I'm trying to help you here. would you just listen to me? Listen to me. He's like, you don't understand. This is my union, man. My union. And he's compelling in the movie. He's really, but Joe Pesci might even be, because he's so low key. He's not flashy like in Goodfellas or Casino. Joe's great in the movie. Really great. I mean, listen, if you saw Raging Bull and you saw Joe Pesci in that movie, Joe Pesci was very low key in that movie. And these other movies, he was more flashier. In Goodfellas, he was as the guy. And in Casino, he was he was really flashy. And he was great in those. But you know, one thing about Pesci, man, he might be, you know, kind of limited in the mob genre roles, but he's terrific. He could hold his own with anybody. I mean, Joe, and he hasn't acted in a long time. He looks pretty old, but he's great in the movie. And that guy Stephen Graham is great too. I mean, there's a lot of other roles, but they're not that memorable. Some of the roles, they are what they are. But
You should have been in it.
yeah, I should have probably had a part in it. You know, I don't know Scorsese. So, and I know De Niro. I worked for De Niro once, but that's okay. I mean, listen, I go as a fan. You know, I'm a fan of those guys. I mean, they've, you know, inspired me. So this might be their last hurrah. And I was, you know, I was thrilled to see it. And I'm thrilled to see it again. It was funny. I was on a plane watching Once Upon a Time for like the second or third time in Hollywood, which was also a movie I loved this year, you know.
I saw it 3 times. I loved it too.
Giggling my ass off, you know. I was laughing because sometimes you start to get the humor.
Well, but the thing is, there's so many little things in Once Upon a Time that you have to catch.
That you miss.
Like, the first time you see it, like him doing his lines in the pool, you don't catch what he's doing, but
yeah,
he's listening to himself do it.
Yeah.
And then he's doing the accents of the characters, and he's like doing an awful impression, and he's just, I don't know. To me, like that's a special DiCaprio performance.
It is funny, and Brad Pitt is funny as shit too. He's just funny. It's just like when he's trying to get Brad Pitt a job in the movie. You remember when he's talking to Kurt Russell? He's like, just do me a favor, just hire the guy. You could throw him off a building. You could fucking torch him. You could put him on fire. You just put him in the wardrobe because I don't like the guy. He killed his wife.
You know? Oh, that's a bunch of baloney.
He goes, don't believe that shit. That story's been around forever. You know, so, you know, you see this good acting, man, you know, I mean, and you get, when you see it, it's like, yesterday I did a reading of a play, and it was like so well written with this guy, Paul Ben-Victor, and he has a small part in it. And he wrote this play about him and his mother wrote it, and his mother's a playwright, but it was like, it happened 50 years ago. She was a stenographer, and she was like caught up in the whole Me Too movement then. You know, all these crazy guys chasing his mother around. It's all about this young girl. And we read the play yesterday, and he wrote it, and he was so good when he read it. I was reading it cold, but I was like, wow. When you read good stuff, you know, it's uplifting. It really is.
That guy?
Yeah, he was in Entourage.
Good actor.
Oh, he's in The Wire. He has such a good part.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Really good in it.
He's a really, really good actor. And he's a really talented dude. I mean, like, you know, like you see him perform this play, and he might do it in L.A., so there's a part that he's interested in me to do, and I could probably do it, you know, but it's not easy because these people are in the play. They all come in and out of the play. And
you have to get in shape if you're going to do it.
I don't got to get physically in shape. I just got to be in shape mentally. You know what I mean?
But physically helps the mental.
I'm interested. No, I'm interested in being, you know, I was on a stage many years ago, and I think it would be good for me. Because, you know, because, you know, being in New York, I just did these 2 nice episodes, SVU, which will be on December and January. So
you got to get Ice-T on here. Yeah,
I got to hang out with Ice. Ice was cool. Ice-T, man. He was like, you were Sammy the Bull, right, bro? I was like, yeah. He goes, you look like you could bring it. I was like, yeah, I could bring it. Because I had a really dramatic arc. I don't know if my character's going to come back. I hope it comes back because it was a great show to work on. Mariska Hargitay.
Warren
Light, who's the showrunner, great guy. Dennis Hamill, friend of mine who wrote one of the episodes. An old friend of mine from Kriegel's days. You know, he was a journalist, and he wrote actually one of the Bless Me Fathers, Small World. And then I worked with this girl, Kelly Giddish, Southern girl, who was very nice. We had good chemistry together. Sometimes you just have chemistry with people. But it's been on the air 20 years, 21 years, man. Ice-T told me, man, I came on to do 4 episodes. I did 20 years. I was like, dude, that's a run. That's the kind of run I'm looking for. You know, I had 6, 7 years. I was like, man, 20 years, all my problems will be gone. You know, but, you know, maybe that'll happen still. It ain't over yet, right?
Yeah, if you survive.
He got to go to Katz's Deli. What'd you think of Katz's Deli? I was staying in the Lower East Side, which now has become like this whole, years ago, you couldn't go there. It was like drug infested. Now it's like restaurants, bars, hipsters galore.
Dude, Katz is the shit.
Vintage shops, all kinds of shit. I found the Sergio Tacchini sweatsuit. Everybody went wild. You remember Sergio Tacchini? I don't know if you guys remember, but it was big in the 90s.
Ben Baller still owes you a Sergio Tacchini hoodie.
He's full of shit. Ben Baller. Where are you, Ben? Where's my Sergio? I have to go find it in the vintage shop. I mean, I love Ben, but
Ben's a good dude. He's got a good podcast, too. Shout out,
He's
Ben.
like, yo, dude, man, nobody knows more than baseball about this fucking guy.
That's Ben Baller.
I'm like, yeah. He knows the stats from, like, you know, he says these things like...
He's funny, Ben
He
Baller.
don't even know what he's talking about with baseball, you know. But he calls me for advice on baseball sometimes. I have to steer him. So what were you saying about cats?
It's the shit.
What'd you have?
man.
The pastrami, right?
No, I had the Reuben.
The Reuben.
It's the same thing, but...
Isn't that the same thing? Had
Is it-
egg cream.
Is it the same
Fantastic.
thing?
I think
A Reuben?
what's on a Reuben, right?
Yeah.
Kind of sandwich, pastrami's the meat on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost the same shit.
It's great.
But that thing is going. It's like
expensive
24
as
hours
hell,
a day.
though.
Yeah, it's like $1,000 to walk in for a cup of
He had,
matzo ball
he
soup.
had a slice of pizza just in his hand, and the security guy goes, "Hey, you got a slice for me?" He goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I do."
Yeah.
Just tossing the-
I just gave him a slice. It wasn't from the greatest place. It was. Where was that from? That was from the Village Pizza.
I didn't know that Cats was still open, and so we went to some pizza place. I was like, "No, let's go to Cats." So we went to Cats.
Yeah, but then one night we stopped at Joe's on 14th Street. We got off after the Yankee game. He loved it.
It was good.
It's pretty
It was
good
good
pizza
slice.
too. Good slice, Joe's Pizza.
But we weren't near any of my spots I like, so it's like, yeah, we weren't
Yeah,
near
we-
John's, John's or Patsy's.
Like, where do you stay when you're in Manhattan?
We usually stay Midtown, but this time I'm in the Lower East Side for 3 weeks. This place called the Indigo. Really cool place.
His bro,
Exactly where that is.
Yeah.
Drive, that's where we were all
Yeah.
we were in Jersey City. Working.
Yeah, they-
It's in the lower half of Manhattan.
Right there, yeah.
Ludlow.
Great. I'm telling you, the shops, I was walking every day. I was walking 3-4 miles. I was getting in shape. Talking about getting in shape. I was walking when I did the podcast with John. I walked all the way to like 16th Street.
walking doesn't do shit, bro.
No, I mean, don't tell me don't do shit. Does plenty.
You gotta like
Does plenty.
work out, maybe a couple
Walking's
weights
very
here,
good. Walking's very
couple
good.
push-ups, sit-ups.
You gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah, but his somewhere never starts. It's like it just.
No,
it's
but
a
I was
never.
on- I was
it's
on
a
a-
never-ending thing.
I was on a high. I was on a high walking. I was like, wow, I'm I'm gonna walk now. I don't know. I'm gonna walk to 10th Street. Then I walked to 14th. Then I kept walking, and I was finding these vintage shops, and I was like, I was getting lost in the vintage shops, and I like it because nobody was with me. Nobody would tell me, come on, hurry up, hurry up. I'd be in a vintage shop an hour and a half, 2 hours. 2 hours vintage shopping. That's like that's my high now. You know what I mean? I find people are like, wow, you love it in here. Like, yeah, I get a high on this.
Gives me a headache, bro.
No, I love it. I love when
The
I find.
smell of the clothes. It's
Don't
like,
bother me. I take it back and I wash it.
Yeah,
You know,
bro.
I just got to get rid of that. You know, we went to that place. What was it? the
Round
sneaker?
two.
Round two. And I had a
Sean,
round
Sean
two
Witherspoon's
vintage.
place.
Sean Witherspoon, yeah. And then I found this place, Mr. Throwback. I almost bought an Islanders starter jacket. I didn't buy it because it was too high, but I wanted to buy this Islanders starter jacket. Shit was dope. So clean, so fresh. But if he goes down, I may still have him send it to me. I walked in there with the Sergio Tacchini, and the guys are like floored. My freaking mouth keeps going from the dentist. You see this shit? When you got Novocaine? Yeah. Oh, I go to this dentist, these people.
Oh, you went there today?
Oh, the woman holds my hand. They're a sitcom.
They're an old couple.
Oh, they're an old
and
couple.
Mom and pop dentist place.
From Detroit. They're from Detroit. They are classic. The last of the Mohicans. Like, you know what I mean? The woman has hands like my mother, heavy.
Such a
and
sweet
she
lady.
Talks to me. They tell me stories, all
This is-
kinds of
this is-
shit.
this-
You can't get through your appointment.
What's the husband's name?
Marshall.
Marshall. She'll go like this. She'll go. She'll
Oh,
like
honey.
this. Hi, Marshall. Marshall's
Yeah.
gonna take care of you today.
She had my hand today while he's working on me. The other one's talking. They're telling me stories about their son who wrote this musical.
They have
about
like a
gang-
bunch of pictures of like their whole life in the place.
You know when you come
and
to
all they do
someone's
is tell
house,
stories.
Their whole life is like on. I'm telling you, like this is like an old sitcom.
They only have 5 clients a day because they spend 2
Yeah,
hours
they spend a
talking.
lot of time talking. A lot of time talking. He hugs you. You got dogs over there, like French bulldogs up your ass. You know, it's hilarious. But he's a great dentist. Very gentle. He goes, you're not going to feel much. You're not going to feel
But he
much.
stops every 2
And he
seconds.
stops and then he starts telling me this other story. And we're talking to me about this guy, Tony Canero.
Oh, that's why you were late today.
Well, 'cause
that's why you were late.
Their son, who worked with the Black Eyed Peas, is a genius, a musical genius.
No, but that's why you were late. I didn't know you went to that dentist.
Yes. You can't get out of there. You can't get out of
I
there.
went there
so
once.
tomorrow I have to have 2 wisdom teeth pulled next door. And they're like, I think that's your problem.
You're getting your wisdom teeth pulled?
Yeah.
You're gonna be fucked.
Watch your language, would you?
What do you mean? Your face is gonna go like this.
I was told not to curse as much. My brother told me. Oh, getting to my brother, yeah. We did a podcast, which was great, you know. And he was like, I liked it. Very good, very good. He goes, but one note. You don't have to be wild all the time. You don't have to be wild. And you don't need to curse that much. I go, John, I'm not as wild as I used to be. I'm honing it now. As you see, I've gotten more refined with the show. I've gotten better and better. At the beginning, you know, you're trying, and sometimes you curse a little bit, you know, here and there. But he thinks I just say, yeah, fuck you, and I'm like, no, I don't say that every other word. I can hold an intelligent conversation. He goes, no, you did a good job. He goes, you were good. You were very good. But just a note, you don't have to. And I'm like, okay. I knew it was coming. Like somewhere. Because I guess he watched it and he enjoyed it. Because, you know, we had all this food. The guy cooked all this food for him. And he didn't eat shit. He was like, no. He goes, I have to go somewhere. And I'm like, you know, I go, it's okay. I was glad he came. It was kind of an event for us to do it.
No, but your face is going to be messed up. Like,
and so
honestly.
then we talked about sports a lot, you know. I didn't know what I wasn't planning, you know, because we have a history of sports as part of our life, not just movies. We're not from a show business family. So, you know, so we talked a lot about, because he loved boxing. I wanted to know how that came about, because he's older than me. My father fought, so he talked about, you know, this was a way he could relate with daddy, stuff like that. And then basketball, how he got into basketball. He doesn't know that much about baseball. He knows a little bit.
He's a fan, but he's not an enthusiast.
He's not a student of the game. But, you know, most people loved it. There was one guy who goes, I was waiting for them to tell personal stories. I'm like, we're not going to air out all our laundry, you know what I mean? Most people are like, I love these guys, which is wonderful talking. Because then I tried to change it once to maybe promote his new movie. He goes, what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't change it. Don't change gears. Don't change the subject. You know how I go. I go all over.
He's got like a big movie coming out next year.
Yeah, he's got a big movie. I said, I thought maybe you want to promote the Jesus...
rolls.
The Jesus rolls. And he was like, no, let's talk sports. We're stay on point. I think Diego, his son, told him. Nicholas goes off, because they call me Nicholas. He goes off subject matter.
His son Diego, they have like a special relationship, him and Diego, right?
I love Diego.
So Diego, now that he's older,
I feel like
he's
I'm
2
on
years.
drugs or something today. Sorry.
You are.
I'm telling you, man, this is weird.
He's 2 years younger than me. So when he's supposed to get in shape, and Diego tells him, and then I tell him he fell off track, he goes, he's got to stay on.
No, because Diego told him, make sure he stays on.
He texted me, Nick, he has to stay on.
I don't plan anything. I don't come in here. I don't have notes like a Fox or something. Whatever happens here happens.
Kriegel had me give him notes before the show. He says, "What do you want?" He goes, "What are we going to talk about?"
I don't want to talk about.
I said, "Mark, we just talk about anything." He goes, "No, Nick, I have to know. What are we going to talk about?"
These are different kind of people. So he was enjoying this talking sports. He really liked it. He goes, no. That was very good. Very good. You know, I said, did you want to talk show, you know, whatever, promote a movie or maybe talk about, talked a little about Paul Newman. We talked a little bit. Because we went to a Knicks game. The Knicks were down by 20. I walked in, they came back, and he was like, see, my brother. I said, I changed the mojo, John. I got you a win, because he's a season Knicks ticket holder. So he was very happy that night, because when I walked in the building in the third quarter, I was coming right from the set of SVU. An exciting 3 weeks. It was great. The Yankees, hanging out with my brother. You came. It was a lot of fun, man. I was on, Fox pregame, vintage shopping. I mean, I come back here. New York got me going, got me sharp mentally. You know what I mean? There's something there, that just gets you. I mean, I like LA, but it just, my brain disintegrates. You know what I mean? Disintegrates. But tomorrow, I gotta go. That's why I was late today, because Marshall Lappin and Lapin and his wife.
He has the craziest story.
Oh my God,
Marshall.
he has a wild. They told him the story one time, well, we can't repeat it. About a gangbang or something. His wife was laughing when they were kids.
Yeah, he was him and his buddies were in a gangbang when they were like 18, 20 years old. And he's telling the story in front of his wife the first time we meet him. And his wife loves it. But they're married like 50 years, so it's like, he goes, a German Shepherd jumped on top of me during it.
And we're like, I don't know if we need to hear this. And his wife's laughing.
His wife's a sweet lady.
Oh my God, she held my hand today, holding my hand while he was drilling my teeth.
This is the episode before he drills into Jerry's mouth and shit. That's what it sounds like with you guys. It's like having sex on top of him while he's passed out.
Oh my! It's hilarious, hilarious. They were telling me this whole thing today about their son, who wrote this musical about a mob guy who had a ship out here, Tony Canero. He's the one that started the Stardust Hotel in Vegas, and I guess it's a famous story. And the guy had a ship off the Santa Monica Pier that had gambling, prostitutes. I guess there's a great book about this guy, Tony Canero. We looked him up. Their son, who wrote for will.i.am, all these guys.
Yeah.
I guess he's like a genius musical producer, piano player. So CAA or somebody almost bought this as a Broadway show. He wrote this musical about this gangster. And they were playing the soundtrack in the chair, describing every song to me. And it was great. It was, the guy's really talented.
The son scored a couple shows too. And
he's a big time guy,
music.
The son.
Yeah, he was with the Peas early on, and then he left them before they like blew up.
Yeah.
And he was producing and like MDing them and stuff. But then like they're all still cool, I guess, from my understanding. But he's like a legit musician and serious guy. So
yeah. But it's I'm telling you, man, you want to go to a great dentist, but if they love you, that's it. You're like family.
Yeah, Curtis took us there, right?
Yeah, Curtis Wilmot. And the people that come in, they've been going there for 40 years. You know, it's like a mom and pop. It's like, you know, the way I grew up. You know, you had one doctor. You had a dentist. You had a family doctor that took the whole family in. It was, you know what I mean? You had a delicatessen up the street. You had a pharmacy. You had a pizzeria. In fact, I was trying to get J&S Pizzeria. I've been trying to get back to this great pizzeria.
I mean, it's right near JFK. Why
Yeah,
don't
it's
you
right
just
where I
stop
grew
there?
up, Rosedale. Unbelievable. Nobody makes this square pizza. There's something in it. I was going to get one and take it on the plane because that kind of pizza, you could heat it up. And I didn't make the stop. And everybody at home was like, well, why didn't you bring the J&S? I'm like, yeah, I know. Shit.
Oh, I was going to ask you, are you still on the juice?
The testosterone, is that juice?
It's juice. Are you still on it?
Yeah. Still on it.
Oh, okay.
It's good. It's all good.